Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP Pavilion x360M convertible model 14m-ba114dx. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove all the screws. You're going to need a PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver, as well as a PH0 or JAS0 screwdriver. Alright. So first thing, we're going to remove these two rubber feet. This one, the customer already lost it. But anyways, I'm going to get underneath with my fingernail. You can use whatever you want, plastic pry tool, or even metal tools if you don't mind scraping this on accident. But anyways, we're going to remove all the screws from the bottom here. So there's a PH1 or JS1 screw. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. I do that by putting the flat side down like this on my desk. In the pattern, I remove them. So here you can see there's going to be 3 here. We're going to remove this cover as well. The customer seemed to have already made a dent in it, but I'm going to pop that out. Alright, again, you can use a plastic pry tool or whatever you can to get in there. We're going to remove that screw as well. If this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to my channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Right, anyways, we're going to continue removing all the screws from the front as well. We switch to a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. Alright, and let's go ahead and remove the 3 screws from the front here. Alright. Alright, and last one here. Okay, now that we got all those screws out, we're going to have to pop this cover off. This is going to be a little difficult for me to show on camera, but I'll do what I can. Alright, so the top palm rest assembly comes separately, and it has 3 cables attached, the keyboard, trackpad, and the keyboard backlight. So you want to be careful when opening this, because when it drops forward, you don't want those cables to get damaged. Alright, so what I do, I use my fingernails to get in the little gap here. Okay, you can use plastic pry tools or whatever you want, but I use my fingernails. I get them in there, and then I use my thumbs to push on the back and pull with my fingernails here to pop the clips. So just like this. Okay, normally I wouldn't have it open, so I'll usually have it closed like this, and we'll just go around like that and just pop the clips all the way around. Alright, we're going to rotate it, go to the sides here, and same thing. Go ahead and go along and pop the clips. Alright, we're going to do the same thing over here. Go to the side, and then we're going to pull on it with our fingernails and push with our thumbs to pop those clips. Okay, again, this cover is pretty tough to get out, so keep that in mind. It's going to be a little tough. You're going to have to use quite a bit of force. Alright, so once you get the front and then the sides out, I think the customer had their screen replaced before, so it's like this golden color. But anyways, we're going to get this open. So let me see if I can show you this. So here you can see the cables there. You want to be very careful. Alright, and then we're going to unlatch these cables here. So it's just like all my other models, or the other models that I've worked on. The keyboard has this latch. Right, let me see if I can zoom in a bit more to make this easier to see. Okay, so we got this latch here. I'm going to flip that up with my fingernail. You can use whatever you want to do that. All right, same thing with this. So that's the keyboard cable. There's the keyboard backlight. We're going to flip that latch and take that out. And then we got the trackpad cable here. So I can't really show that, but it flips the opposite direction. I'll show you after I remove it. So again, I just use my fingernail, flip that forward, and then we can go ahead and pull that cable out. And there we go. Now that we got all those cables out, let me zoom out here. Alright, now we can go ahead and lift this out. It might be a little tricky. You can fold the screen all the way back. Alright, and then what you're going to do is you're going to lift this all the way up and kind of might have to wiggle it a little bit. And there we go. We got the keyboard assembly off. So here you can see keyboard connector, keyboard backlight, and the trackpad connector. Right, we're going to set that aside. I'm going to clean this out. This was having a fan issue. I noticed that the fan was actually pretty stiff trying to move it, but I loosened it up with the screwdriver, and it should be okay now, unless the motor burnt out from being stuck. Okay, so you got the power button here. It's on a separate board. And then you got the LCD LVDS connector. If you mess with this, make sure that you remove the battery and press and hold the power button for 15 seconds before you remove that. All right, you got the speaker connection here. I'm just going to quickly show what I see inside because I'm not going to take this all apart. Wireless card is underneath the motherboard. You got this connector here, which is most likely for the touch screen, but could also be for the webcam or something like that, or the microphone. You got the DC jack or charge port connector here, which is kind of a dumb design because they put this metal plate on top underneath the motherboard. So to remove this, you will have to take the entire motherboard out. The one nice thing is at least you can test it with another charge port before removing that. All right. I don't see, oh, actually, okay, I do see. So there is replaceable RAM here. If you can see under there, you can actually see there's a stick of RAM. If you want to find out what the other side of the motherboard looks like, here you can see the motherboard model number here, 448.0BZ09.0011. I think that's the motherboard model number, so you can search that, and if you find the motherboard, you can hopefully find pictures of the back. So there's all these HP spare part numbers, so you can also check these model numbers. This might be for the motherboard. Let me see. So this one was having a fan issue, so I'm going to pull this cable out. This is the power button, so I'm going to flip that latch, and we're going to pull this cable out, and we're going to peel that up a little. There's another HP spare part number, just in case I need that for the fan, but if you need it, you can check. I think this is a fan model number, but I'm not sure. All right, let's get this cable back in. All right, just like this. Get that into place. Flip that latch down. All right, there's also another fan model number here, but it's going to be very hard to see. I don't know if you can even see that. I'll try and read it off for you. DFS551205WQ0T. So that's the model number there. They have other model number stuff there as well, but I don't think that's going to be needed. Hopefully you can read that. Okay. All right, so next thing we got is the battery. The customer was telling me the battery is not working very well, or it's complaining. So let's go ahead and remove this cable. I'm going to flip this latch up and flip this latch up. All right, and then let's go ahead and disconnect these cables here. So I'm going to pull that out, and we're going to pull this one out. So this one is held down with an adhesive. If you peel this off, you want to be careful. Try and keep the cable as flat as possible. You don't want to crease it. So the way I do that is I pull it that way while I kind of lift it up, just like this. You can see, and there we go. And you don't want to pinch this too much because you don't want to break that cable. So the battery model number here is BK03XL. And then they have, again, another HP spare part number. So if you can't find it with that, you can find it with the HP number 916811-855. And then I'm not sure what this is for. Maybe it's for this plastic assembly. So if for some reason you need that, there you go. 939841-001. Okay, so the battery's pretty easy to remove. It looks like there's just 6 screws, and then you kind of pull this whole thing up. I guess I'll show that in the video. But yeah, other than that, I don't want to pull anything else out. This battery also acts as the BIOS or CMOS battery. We're going to switch to a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. But anyways, this battery acts as the BIOS, CMOS, or real-time clock RTC battery, whatever you want to call it. So keep that in mind. If for some reason your BIOS keeps resetting or something, it's usually because of this battery's bad. So, all right, so there's 4 screws along the top, 3 screws along the bottom. Okay, unless I missed any, but it looks like that's all of them. Okay, and this slot is supposed to be, oops, let me actually show you in a bit. So, okay, so we got all of that out. Let's go ahead and pull this up. So I just get my fingernail under here and lift up like that, and that's how you get the battery out. So there's another HP spare part number here. I don't know what that one's for, so if you need that, there you go. 924273-001. Okay, so that's a different HP spare part number. So I don't know what that's for. Maybe the one in that empty area. So maybe this one is for the hard drive caddy or something. But anyways, so this normally you can have a slot here for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. They actually have this little connector here, which I believe is for that. Yeah, it says HDD1. So it looks like you can put another hard drive here. You'd have to take this rubber piece out. And then I'm guessing there's a M.2 SSD on the other side of the motherboard, but again, I'm not going to be taking that out. I have other videos of models that look very similar to this one, so if you want, you can probably search for those. Usually the model number will be very similar. So yeah, all right, let me put all of this back together, and then I need to let the customer know how much it'll cost to repair. So we'll see. They'll need a new battery, and then I'll see if the fan is fixed. I'm actually going to use an electric air blower just to blow that out real quick to make sure that there's no dust that's going to get in there and clog it up. There were broken plastic pieces, so maybe one got stuck in there and was causing the problem. I cleaned out some of them, so yeah. All right, so let's get this connector back in. There's some dust on there, clean that off. All right, get that in. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this out and then I'll be back. We're gonna put the keyboard and everything back together. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back, so let's get this thing back together. Most likely what happened with this is they used one of those compressed air cans, which if you're not careful, it blows really cold air. And then what happens is condensation forms, and that's likely what caused the motor to seize up on the fan. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing back together. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this on camera because of the way I have to hold the parts to do this. So I don't know, you guys might not be able to see this, but I'll angle it like this and see if I can show it. So let's see, I'm going to get the keyboard here, and then we're going to try and get this cable in. All right. So I'm going to try and get this in like that. Again, this is really hard to show on camera, so I might have to just do without showing this. Yeah, I don't think I can do it while trying to show it because I have to have it angled down a bit more. Let me try angling it like this with a box or something and see if I can do that. So I'm going to get a box in there just to hold it up at a slight angle. All right, and let's see if I can somehow do this while somewhat showing it. Yeah, no, I guess you guys can't see what I'm doing. All right, anyways, I'm gonna get that in and hold that connector in place and then latch that down. I guess you can kind of see a little bit. All right, we're gonna do the same thing with the keyboard backlight connector. Get that cable in there, put that latch down. All right, and the last cable here. I don't know what you guys can see because I'm focusing on what I'm working on. All right, so now we got all of that in. Let's just get that all back together. Okay, and then just clip everything back down. All right, get all of that latched in. All right, so now we got everything all clicked back into place. Let's go ahead and power it up and make sure everything looks okay. Okay, I might have to plug it in. Sometimes you have to plug it in before it will work, but let's see. I see the power light on. I hear the fan spinning, so we should be okay. We're just gonna give it a bit. After removing the battery, it resets the BIOS, so it does take a while to boot up, so keep that in mind. Unless the battery's dead, it should be booting up, so we're gonna let it sit a bit. Come on, there you go. So here you see CMOS reset. Press enter to reboot the system, so just press enter. And it should boot up okay. Unless the battery died. Okay, no, it still has power. So we should be okay. Here you can see it's booting up. It didn't complain about the battery. It didn't complain about the fan. So we should be good to go. We'll wait for this to boot up. Oh, here you go. Okay. So you can see the date is wrong. The date and time is wrong. It's about 5 p.m. right now, October 19th. So that stuff all got screwed up. All right. So anyways, we're going to shut this down now and put back the remaining screws. Alright, but that's pretty much it. So hopefully this video helped you guys. I know I didn't do a complete disassembly. Again, you can search my channel. It's been repaired. Search for HP Pavilion x360 convertible. That right there. Alright. And then you can probably find a bunch of models. I've done a lot of these HP x360 convertibles. So check for that. And then, yeah, if you can't find one, let me know. I'll see if I can find one for you. But that's pretty much it. Let's get all these screws back in. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. And you're welcome to stay as I put back the rest of the screws, but that's pretty much it. And yep. Alright, last 2 screws. And then we'll just put back those little covers. Alright, there we go. Get that back on. Alright. And this back on. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, let's drop this. Bye.